It's your boy Griff here, back with another video, and today I got a special video for you guys, man. Today we're gonna be back with the Tournament of Power Season 107, best teams guide. You guys know every season they always change up the teams and the characters boost, so some teams gets affected more compared to others. And based off that, we kind of have to maybe do a little bit of some switching compared to different sides. Maybe we have the main 6 characters, but usually like the boost characters or the backup characters, you kind of want to change just so you can get enough points to reach high points and survivability, so you guys can get the 1.5k CCs. So we have another season, different paths and all that good stuff there. So I'm gonna show you guys the best teams for the tags that I think are really good, really powerful. And if you guys do enjoy these type of videos, subscribe to the channel. Road to 17k. And like I said, for any team that you main, just really focus on stars. Get them to friendship level 10. Arts boost them. If you have a Zenkai character, get them to Zenkai 7. Anything that helps with stats, you just want to do, just because you want to do as much damage and take as less damage. And make sure you guys are also using Tournament of Power equipments, because that would be really nice as well in terms of health and just more base stats and all that good stuff there. So I think that's pretty much it there. Like I said, this is probably gonna be the last season until part 2 drops. So if you guys are still summing for part 1, hopefully you guys get the character that you want, the LF, either Vegeta or Goku. Or if you guys are saving for part 2, definitely do that as well. Either one is fine. And without further ado, let's get straight into the best teams with Blast Base Region. Alright, for the first team we have is Regen Blast Base. Now, if you're looking at my team looks a little bit different than normal, right? Usually the team I usually have is like Blue Tanks, right? But I'm gonna change it up because I'm gonna explain why. So let's lock in. So the reason why I took out Blue Tanks and put EX Omega is solely because of this guy. I want to try Super Boo, right? If you actually look here, he's actually a Z tier character. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Super Boo, right? But he's in Z tier. He's the only Sparking region in Z tier, and I want to give him a go because I looked at his kit. It's not the best, but he does have a way of nullifying the first attack that lands to him. So he has like a a nullification type of green card, and then after that, he has a solid damage inflicted for like 2 timer counts, and then he ramps up with his blast card every time he lands a blast card. So I wanted to give that a go. He's a Z tier character, and the reason why I took Blue Tanks out is just in case this guy dies, I'm gonna have enough points to still try to get into the Z tier, that 1.5k CC range. Reason for that is because this Piccolo right here is an S tier character. Him, Fusion Zamasu, is an S tier character, and I wanted to have one more S tier character around, so I took out Blue Tanks and I added an Omega Shenron. Now Omega Shenron doesn't have the guaranteed blue, but he does have high key restore speed, kind of like Blue Tanks. I think Blue Tanks is a little bit higher, but he does have just great blast damage, so really nice here. You guys see here he's paired up with 4 PO characters, so he's gonna get that extra damage inflicted buffs, right? So that's gonna be really nice. And that's basically like my region setup. Is I want to have, just in case Super Boo dies, we have enough S tier or enough points to still try to find a way to get high points. So say Blue Tanks died, I might put in like CMZ or LF Perfect Cell, and then we're gonna try to see if we can survive with the EX Piccolo, Omega, Fusion Zamasu in terms of their S tier points. So I'm gonna take the risk. If you guys just want to play it a little bit safe, you guys can definitely just put in what's the name here. If you guys want to take the regular region team that I usually rock, you guys can just take him out, put Blue Tanks in there, and then here I'll probably go with an S tier character, and then you could probably put in Fusion Metal Cooler. Zenkai, I said Fusion. Zenkai Metal Cooler. You guys could put in free to play Metal Cooler. You guys could put in EX Omega. You guys could even put, I'll probably say the 4th best character, Fusion Zamasu, and then you have this red transforming cell. He's strike based, but I feel like he's just the 5th best character for the S tier. So I'm gonna be a little bit more risky, and I want to try him out. See if I fail, I fail, but I want to give him a go and see how he performs. So that's my region team. Let's talk about like the replacements. You guys know CMZ, Cell, LF Cell, Super Baby 2. You guys know that, but let's talk about the colors. So when it comes to the colors, For red, like I said, I think CMZ is just the best red. Even though he's strike based, I still think he's the best red. But some good options to choose from is that you do have CMZ, you have Ultra Cell. If you have him at high stars, then definitely Ultra Cell is really good. After that, who I really like is, let me actually go here. Let me actually look at the S tier. You do have Zenkai Metal Cooler, that's really good. You do have Boo Han, that's really good. And then you also have Piccolo Jr., they're both in A tier. In terms of the B tier spot, I'll probably go with Red 21 and then Goku Piccolo. And then in terms of the C tier spot, I will go with Ultra Cell and CMZ. And then the other ones are strike based characters, so I don't really care too much about them. After that, we're gonna go with Yellow. I think Yellow, like I said, in terms of like the main character wise, is I do like Rage Shenron. Actually, I do like Majin Buu Hercule a little bit more compared to Rage Shenron. I'll put Rage Shenron second here. After that, in terms of the B tier spot, like I said, you have LF Piccolo. Zenkai Cell is not bad. He's just a strike-based character, so if you want to use him, go ahead. It's just that he doesn't really flow with the blast-based regen team. And then in terms of the C tier spots, that's pretty much it, bro. So you pretty much have is Rage Shenron. You have Rage Shenron. You have Majin Buu Hercule. You have the event exclusive Cell here, and then you also have that other. Who else I'm missing? Then, you know, a Zenkai Cell probably last for Yellow, if you don't have LF Piccolo. After that, let's go Purple. I think Purple is probably Region's worst color. So let's go to the A tier. I would say Super Buu, free to play Super Buu is really good. High key recovery. He has a stun green card, which is pretty nice. After that, I'll probably say Garlic Jr. because he has, you know, he's strike based, but he gives like notification to his allies and stuff. So that's really nice. I do like that as well. And then after that, in terms of the C tier spots, if you guys don't have that new this cell here, I will probably go with the Zenkai Perfect Form cell, just because even though he's strike based, he just has high stats and he'll just work out because he Zenkai's buff himself, and then he kind of just will work out because he has his high stats as an LF character Zenkai. So I'll probably say those are like my favorite purples. If you gotta go deeper, I will probably say LF Light Skin Piccolo, or not LF Light Skin, but Light Skin Piccolo and a Red Ribbon RB Piccolo. After that, we'll go green. Green for S tier, like I said, right now I have Fusion's Monster because he's just in the S tier spots. But in terms of the A tier spots, I do like Baby Trunks and then free to play DKP. After that, in terms of the B tier, really no one I don't really like. So then we're going to go down to the C tier spots, and it's pretty much just going to be the first form Cell here. I feel like he's the best overall character, like just in terms of healing 10% is ridiculous. Then I'll have Omega Shenron, and then I'll have Evil Boo and Cryhon for the green. Last is going to be blue. Super Baby 2 is always going to be on the team, so don't worry about that. Like he's a must run character. In terms of S tier, like I said, you have Omega, and then you have the free to play Metal Cooler. I feel like they're really two good characters that I rocked previously. These characters right here don't really impress me like that. I feel like they shine a little bit more off the backup characters. After that, like I said, I'll go with Boo Tanks, and then I'll go with the second form Cell. I really do like him a lot. And then the C tier spot is pretty much gonna be LF Kid Buu, and then Blue Zamasu there. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the colors for the Regen Blast Base team. Let's hop into the next team. All right, next team we have is Blast Base Androids. So when you talk about the backup characters are a little bit weird this season, just because I feel like they're really heavily like red and green for the backup characters. Let's get straight into it. So I'll show you guys the Z tier. Not really the biggest fan of any of these characters here. I'll probably say the only character that I'll probably take a risk on is probably going to be this purple Android 15 here. I mean, his Z ability does help blast attack and defense, but other than that, I mean, he does have debuffs here as well. So if you want to take the risk with the Z tier character for this season, then I'll probably say purple Android 15. But other than that, I don't really see anybody else here that I kind of gravitated to. So let's go to the S tier spot. Now, when it comes to the S tier spot, like I said, there's some good options, but a lot of them are just pretty much just yellow. I mean, they're pretty much just strike-based characters in a sense. Like Android 16, he's more strike-based than Blast. Android 13 is more strike-based. Then you have Super 13, and you have Red Transforming Cell, then you have the yellow Super 17. You pretty much have your best characters in S tier strike-based, besides this free-to-play Red 18, which I decided to add her as one of my main characters here. So just because I'm playing them a little bit more safe and I have a little bit more S tier characters, I decided to go with 3 compared to having like a Z tier and an S tier. For my backup characters, so I decided to go with 16 and blue 13. I feel like they're both really good. And I'll be seeing a lot of top tier Android players rocking 16. Not entirely sure why, but they be rocking them. I mean, his stats are okay. I think he just has high defensive stats, so he's just going to live long because he's a Zenkai character that has high defense and, you know, high strike attack. But other than that, like I said, Android 13 is probably the second option just so he can replace MVP 17, both of your C tier characters, the Cell and 17. And then, like I said, any other good characters that I like, Super 13, if you want to do double reds, you can Zenkai buff him and he gets the guaranteed blue. Red transforming Cell, he's probably the newest character out of the characters lineup here. And then I'll probably say fifth is probably, or sixth is probably going to be Super 17, the yellow one. And then after that, you're probably going to have like the EX 17 there, the EX second form Cell. You probably Cell Junior as well, Green 18, right? So all of them are pretty much strike based, like all the good sparking characters besides the Red 18. So and talk about the main 6 here. Yellow 18, I like having Yellow 18 in the EX first form Cell. They're pretty much your main healers and support for the team. You kind of just like rocking them together. And then the Cell is going to Zenkai buff 18. For my blue, I always go with 17, but there's definitely other good blue options to choose from. He has 2 other good blue options, which is really nice to replace him from. And then here, I decided to go with the purple Future 17. He gives nice support, heals himself. He kind of is like an all-around type of player in a sense, or kit or unit. And then I have the green first form Cell just because of his survivability. Him healing 10% each turn. I mean, each fight is ridiculous. And then he has nice debuffs as well. And then I just add in Red 18 just because she's an S tier character for the team. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the best characters for the Reds. Like I said, I mean, other options besides the 18 there. If you want to add in another red or just a different, or maybe you don't have 18, right? You have Ultra Cell, that's really nice. Then you have Super 17, that's really good. Then you have the Red Free to Play 21. And then I'll probably add in the Tag Droids, probably last, compared to all those 4 characters in terms of just a viable main 6 red character. I'll probably mention those. And then your backups, I already kind of mentioned the backup characters. Anyways, for yellow, like I said, I really do like the free-to-play 18 in the Zenkai first form Cell. But if you want to add in somebody else that's really good, me personally, you do have other options like the EX 18 here. She has great support if you have her high stars. Then after that, you have the Gammas, and then you do have this 18 here. I think she might be a little bit better in terms of maybe future. But I just feel like the Majin Buu Saga 18 is a better support character. She's free to play as well. It's easier to get her 14 stars compared to this 18. And then you have the event exclusive Cell. After that, we got purple. Purple here, your best option is going to be the LF Perfect Form Cell. Then you have the Zenkai LF Perfect Cell. And then after that, you do have the range, the future purple 17. And then you have GT 17. Those are like top purples. Everybody else is like meh. After that, you got green. Like I said, I think green overall first form Cell, the Zenkai, is the best green in my opinion. Other good green options that I like, I do like magenta, even though he's a little bit more on the strike base side. He gets a guaranteed blue once the enemy has 3 characters less remaining, which is really good. And then I believe what happens? What else he does? And then he also has great debuffs. You guys see here, like 20% damage, downgrade, and key recovery for all enemies is pretty nuts. So I do like him a lot. And then I'll say Gamma 1, and then I'll probably say Green 21, and then pretty much the other ones are pretty much just backup character options. Next, we have blue last. It's going to be MVP. I like MVP the best just because his Z ability helps Android's blast base, which is really good. If you don't have him though, there are 2 good options for him in my opinion in terms of replacements for the main 6. I would say the second option is Android 18. Recently got a Zenkai buff. She has equal stats, even though she's melee. She has equal stats, and then she has lots of ways of trying to like gain her blue card. So every other fight, she's going to be guaranteed a blue card, which is really powerful. And then she gets extra buffs whenever she defeats an enemy for her allies, restoring their health and damage inflicted buffs. And then every time she lands a strike or blast. she is building up damage as well, which is really good. Then third, I'll say is second form Cell. Second form Cell. I mean, he's another blast based character you can't go wrong with. And I think that's pretty much it with the blue. Those are like my top 3 blues that I like. All the other ones are pretty much strike based characters, and if needed, you pretty much going to use them on the backup side. So anyways, let's hop into the next team. Alright, so for the next team we have Blast Base Future. This is probably the first time I probably talk about this team. Now, since I kind of got a lot of the characters that I was missing, this one might be a little bit longer of a yap session just for me to explain like why I feel like this team could work out. If you guys have rock Future Blast Base before, just let me know if this is a viable team. I feel like this is look good just based on what I'm reading here. Let's break it down. So this team entirely runs based off the chance of just getting as much blue cards in one turn, in one fight. And it all solely reflects off this Red Mai. Right, if you look at Red Mai, if you look at her kit, the biggest thing that I like about her kit is start of turn. You guys see there, 10% damage. She giving damage inflicted buff to her allies. She's getting special move gauge for her allies. The 5% special move gauge of her allies is important, right? She's covering up 6 out of the 9 spots of the spots there, which is good. She's giving damage inflicted buffs to herself and all that good stuff. But that kit right here, the +5 special move gauge to her allies in range. This is why I have them set up like this. Then we have Yellow 18. Yellow 18 is kind of going to be your best support character for them, right? She heals herself only twice, and then she's also healing her allies 2 turns as well, but she's also giving them damage inflicted buffs. So you have 2 characters that's giving them damage inflicted buffs, and then, you know, 1 character that's healing them. And everybody on this team has a way of healing themselves. You have Vegito, he transforms in the second turn. CMZ, every time he lands an attack, he heals. I believe the Trunks, whenever they switch on the second turn, end of second turn or beginning of second turn, they actually heal, I think, a little bit. And then this purple 17 heals himself as well. Now, like I said, the 5% special move gauge is actually pretty important because it can help get characters, in a sense, get a guaranteed blue card or ultimate card every match. So like I said, each turn is 5%, so that's going to be 20% if it reaches to the 4th turn. So that's 20% she's giving for her allies. Now let's look at everyone else's kits and let's see how crazy this is. You look at Purple 17. Purple 17's kit, start of first turn, you guys see there he actually gets 10% to his own special move gauge, and then start of the 3rd turn, like I said, he's healing, he's giving damage inflicted buff to his allies, and then he gets an extra 20% gauge. So if the full fight goes to the 4th fight, by Mai, he's actually getting an extra 20% special move gauge. So he's getting 50% of his gauge. So that means every other fight that we fight in TOP, he's gonna have his gauge full to use a blue card. That's a big game changer with Mai himself. Instead of having it every 3 fights, it's gonna be every other fight, which is insane. Let's look at CMZ. CMZ, one of the things I like about him is 20% gauge every time he lands a strike or blast card. He gets that if he goes for the full 4 fights there on a stage, on a turn, for the 4 turns in a fight, he's getting 80%. But if you have Mai, he gives the extra 20, and he's gonna get a guaranteed blue card every single fight. Right? That's insane. That's just how crazy it is just having Mai on the team. You have 2 characters now. Like, you have CMZ that can get a guaranteed blue card every fight, and then you have Purple 17 that can get it every other fight. And then we look at like the Gohan Trunks here. You see here, first turn they get 25, and then the 3rd turn they get 25. So that's 50. And then you have Mai that's giving them an extra 70 if the fight reaches to the 4th turn. Even if it makes the 3rd turn, that's extra what, 15 to 20%. Every other fight they're gonna get a guaranteed blue. And then, like I said, with the extra damage inflicted buffs, that's just pretty insane. Just a faster way of getting their blue card, which is pretty nuts in my opinion. And I believe they might get to a point where they could, if they get 30%, they could actually probably get 2 blue cards, or like just not 2 blue cards, but possibly 2 blue cards in the game, possibly, based off what I'm thinking here. And then, like I said, the last but not least, you got Vegito. Vegito, he's probably just the best green. He doesn't have anything that increases his blue card gauge, but he has stuff that increases his blue card charge rate gauge, in a sense. So this is how fast he fills up the blue card gauge, like how instead of the normal way that it kind of goes up per fight, it goes up a little bit faster. So his kind of sucks, but he's like the best green for the team. So a lot of this is based off my, in terms of pairing her up with characters that just has their way of building up blue card gauge, and she kind of excels that in a sense. So this is kind of a more niche team. If you have a full future team, you could probably rock this team. Like I said, everyone in this team has ways of healing. Purple 17, Vegito, Yellow 18 heals herself and ally. CMZ heals himself. I believe Mai might be the only one that doesn't heal herself, I think. And then the Grunks here heals himself in on end of turn 2. Now in terms of the backup characters, the reason why I went with the EX Mai here, I believe she's probably the best Z tier character for this thing. You actually have multiple Z tier characters to choose from. The reason why I like her is she gets damage inflicted buffs and reduced damage per future team. So in a sense, she's going to get the full damage because she's on a full future team. And then the fact that we have Trunks on the team, she's going to get extra blast damage and extra strike damage inflicted to the Grunks that we have on our team. And then I also have Purple Sweater Trunks. He's an S tier character, double offensive Z ability. So that's why I decided to add him on the team. Any good options for the Z tier for this team is going to be the Trunks team. He doesn't really help future in a sense, but I mean, he's a good future character to choose from in terms of the Z tier. Another slept on character will be Goku Black. If you're rocking him on a PO future team, then his value is kind of the same as mine, where depending on how many future PO you have, he gets extra damage and reduction of damage and stuff. And then he gives support to future POs at the end of each turn. So if you're rocking a future PO team, then his value is going to increase if you're rocking that. In terms of the S tier, like I said, green sweater Trunks. You do have this green free-to-play Zamasu here that I really like. You do have the red transforming Cell that I like. And then I'll probably say this EX Grunks here. That's probably like my top 4 favorite characters in here. And yeah, let's talk about the colors here. Like I said, it's going to be pretty tough in terms of better like colors options to choose from. But like I said, their future is a really broad team, so it's not going to be that difficult. But I feel like those are just the best ones. Let's talk about red here. In terms of red, like I said, I think CMZ, just because the Mai and the Mai synergy, him and her and CMZ is going to be really powerful. But like I said, you do have Ultra Cell. You do have, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much going to be Ultra Cell. It's going to be CMZ. And then it's probably going to be like Zamasu here, LF Zamasu, and then the tag droids. That's pretty much like my top 4 characters that I like for the red. In terms of yellow, for future wise, future might be the worst color. It might be yellows might be the worst color. So we do have future 18 there. We do have Trunks Vegeta. I just didn't want to add too much C tier characters on my team. And then I'll probably say you have the event exclusive Cell, and then you have the transforming Goku Black. He's more of a defensive character. He kind of gets better when he gets hit, which I don't really like about that. So I kind of put him a little bit lower on the list. So in terms of the purple wise, if you don't have the purple 17, you do have the LF perfect form Cell. Then you have the Zenkai LF perfect Cell. You can't go wrong with those two. And then after that, it's pretty much, yeah, it's gonna be Grunks. It's gonna be purple 17. All the other purple characters I'm not the biggest fan of, but I mean, you can definitely give them a go, but I don't really recommend them. After that, we got green. In terms of green, if you do have Ultra Rose, you guys could definitely rock him for sure over Vegito. I know he's a strike-based character, but the fact that he gets a guaranteed blue is pretty insane in my opinion. But if you don't have him, you have Transforming Vegito Blue. If you don't have Vegito Blue, then you guys can go with the first form Cell. He heals himself by 10%, and he has great debuffs, so he's a really powerful character. If not them two, it's pretty much really just strike-based characters on the team for green. I'll probably give the Super Saiyan, the LF Super Saiyan Team Trunks, I'll probably give him 4th. So Rose, Transforming VB, First Form Cell, and then green Team Trunks. Blue wise, blue is probably their worst color. I'll say Grunks. I'll say second form Cell. He doesn't buff future though. He buffs androids, event exclusive, and PO. And then after that, you guys could go with Goku Black. Goku Black gives a little bit more, gives more damage support for his allies. So if you want to do 3 supporting characters, you guys can do that for your main 6. And then after that, I'll probably go with like Sword of Hope Trunks and then Zamasu there. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the team there. If you guys do rock this team, let me know how how it pans out if you have like a high star future team, especially with if you have all these characters that I'm showing here. If you rock that and it's successful, let me know. Or if you guys have rock blast based future with this type of concept, let me know how that worked out for you. But anyways, let's hop into the next team. Alright, so for the next team we have blast based LOE. Like I said, when it comes to LOE, like their best thing is that they pretty much have like really no C tier characters besides one character right now, which is a event exclusive character. So in a few weeks, in a few seasons, he should be out of the C tier spot. But anyway, let's get straight on to it. So let's talk about the backup characters. Z tier, I mean, I think the best overall one is the red EX Frieza here. I got him to 11 stars. But yeah, his kit is just pretty good, bro. Like special move, charge raise, supporting damage. I mean, as a, like I said, as a free to play, as a EX character, that's really powerful. So I would say he's by far the best. If you don't have him though, you have multiple options in the S tier, which makes LOE shine. Is that they got good S tier options. You got Zenkai Metal Cooler. You got free to play Metal Cooler. You have this green free to play Final Form Frieza, and then I'll say the fourth will probably be this Final Form green EX Frieza, and then I'll say fifth, I'll probably say the EX Final Form Cooler. That's probably my top 5 characters in the S tier side. So you have multiple options to choose from. Now, in terms of the main 6, you kind of have like a lot of characters that's, like I said, the team is really niche, right? So if you don't really have the LOE team, then I'll kind of like not run this team, because you kind of need every character on the team. They don't really have that many replacement options. But we have Chilled in the middle. Chilled, I mean HP for the team. He's going to Zenkai buff LOE LF Frieza, my bad, purple LF Frieza. So he's going to get the double Zenkai buff. He has high key restore speed. He gives support damage to his allies. He debuffs when he lands a blue card in terms of paralysis for the enemy. He kind of does it all. He's kind of like the glue for the team, right? So really powerful character. After that, we have LF Frieza. Like I said, a character that's high key restore speed. So him and Chilled usually attacks first together, and then he's getting Zenkai buff twice, and then he stuns the enemy with his green card beginning of the turn. And then, like I said, he also supporting his allies as well, so that's really powerful. Him getting double Zenkai buff, high key restore speed, and then he's also supporting his allies as well. That's really powerful. So wanted to add him on the mix. Then after that, you're pretty much your main damage dealer is going to be this TOP Golden Frieza. I mean, the fact that he gets a guaranteed blue card at the start of the first turn, and if you rock him on the yellow special move layout bonus, it turns from a regular blue card to an ultimate card because he gets 100% on that. And if you get 100% of your special move gauge on the yellow layout bonus, then it's going to, in a sense, change your blue card into an ultimate card if the unit himself has an ultimate card in his TOP kit. Yeah, and then after that, he can also get another one depending on how many enemies are left in the 4th turn. He can get another guaranteed blue card or ultimate card. Main damage dealer in a sense. And then after that, you have this green event exclusive Frieza. What I really like about him is he has so many debuffs. Like in terms of the start of third turn, look at all the debuffs he gives to the enemies, bro. Damage inflicted buffs, attribute downgrades, I mean key recovery, damage inflicted reduction, increased damage received, key recovery, and then health restoration. And then he's restoring all his allies' health by 2%. Pretty powerful, pretty insane. And then he slowly increases his special move gauge each fight. And then after that, you do have the Revival Frieza. The reason why I have Revival Frieza here is just because he's another character that heals the team, and he's probably the best LOE blue for the blast based LOE team. He heals the team and he gives support. So you have 2 healers with the green Frieza here, and then the green event exclusive Frieza, and then you have the blue Revival Frieza that's healing the team. Like I say, multiple characters are giving damage support for the team. And then last but not least, I just have red Metal Cooler just because he's an S tier character, and he just helps with getting more points for the team. He heals himself as well. Doesn't really have the best TOP kit, but his survivability helps. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So in terms of like the best colors for each team, best backup, let's get straight into it. Red is pretty much only 2 options. It's pretty much DBS Frieza and then Final Form Cooler, but like I said, it's a blast based team, so I'm gonna put them last. Yellow, if you don't have AGF, I mean the best units behind him is pretty much going to be the full power Zenkai Sparking full power Frieza, and then you have the LF full power Frieza. In terms of the purple, if you don't have them two, like I said, you really want to have Chilled. If you don't have LF Frieza, then I'll probably say Mecha Frieza is third, and then I'll probably say UGF and Go Frieza are fourth and fifth. After that, we do have green. If you don't have, you really do want to have this character. He's one of the newest. I mean, he's the second newest. Yeah, he's the second newest event exclusive character we got before the Annie. If you don't have him, I would say there's still some good green options. You do have the Zenkai cooler here, the regular form cooler. You do have the free to play final form Frieza. You do have the final form free to play cooler, and then you do have this sparking summonable AGF Frieza as well. After that, last is going to be blue. I think blue is probably LOE's maybe worst color. Revival Frieza, in a sense, is a must-have character. But if you don't have him, then I'd probably say the best color, best unit to choose from is going to be the free-to-play Metal Cooler. And then probably Go Frieza, probably third. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the video. Not the video, but this team. Let's hop into the next one. Alright, next team, we kind of have Blast-based Frieza Force. Frieza Force is just a more broader team of LOE. You got to change a little bit of some characters, like, for example, Chilled, because Chilled HP is all about LOE, not Frieza Force. So pretty much the best Frieza characters on LOE is going to be on this team in a sense, but then we have options from like the Frieza Force, like Frieza's like his force, like Naval for example, or the Ginyu Force. We have just more characters to choose from for each color, so just more options if you want to go with the Frieza Force routes as well. So Frieza Force also has high boost characters as well, so they pretty much go hand in hand. So anyways, let's talk about the backup characters. Like I said, if it's Frieza Force here, I mean, I'm going to go with the EX Frieza. EX Frieza is just super good. He's really good. Any other characters I would choose from here? If I had to pick one, I mean, two that I think could possibly be really good is this EX Broly here. He's more strike based. Yeah, he's more on the strike based side, but he's usable. You can definitely rock him. And then I'll say third, I'll probably go Raditz because he has double offensive ability. For oh, he doesn't even buff Frieza Force. Nope, no, let's not talk about him. I think Frieza, I mean, he doesn't even buff what's his name either though. He does sagas for the movies. So let's just leave it at Frieza. Let's leave it at Frieza. Let's go to the S tier. S tier spot characters that I like is the green free to play Frieza. Here I do like the EX final form EX Frieza. And then here I'll probably say a pull. And I'll probably say Raspberry, and then Monray. And I'll probably put Rollberry last. That's probably like my favorite S tier characters. I'll add them in here too. Free to play Goku Ginyu. But yeah, let's talk about the main six. So in a sense, like I said, the main six is going to be pretty much the same as like the LOE characters. We have the Revival Frieza giving support and healing for the team. You have AGF in terms of his guaranteed blue card. You have the event exclusive green Frieza. You have debuffs. He has a lot of stuff that's happening on third turn, so debuffing enemies with health restoration, less damage inflicted buffs, damage received, and then key recovery. And then he also is healing his allies by 2%. You also have the LF perfect, not LF perfect, LF purple Frieza that is giving support buff for his allies. He has high key restore speed. He's able to stun his enemies with his green card beginning of the turn. Before any battles happens, anything happens before the fight happens, he stuns one of those enemies where they can't fight for the first turn. And then after that, you pretty much are just switching out, like I said, you're pretty much switching out like coolers, any other cooler characters, and just adding in like, say, like Captain Ginyu character or one of Frieza's henchmen. So, me personally, I like adding in Naval here. Naval is another character that gives great support for the team. He's giving damage inflicted buffs and he's healing their health, which is really nice. So, you have three characters in the sense that's giving support in terms of healing. Revival Frieza, the event exclusive Frieza, and then you have Naval. And then after that, I decided to add in Jason Birder tag. Alright, if you have them at high stars, definitely give them a go. Like, they just great blast based character. Does great damage switching from red to blue. And I'm gonna show you guys the replacements for each color for the Frieza Force team. Alright, so let's talk about red. I think red, like if you want to have like a really good red character, I think the I think Raditz is actually really good. He's a slow key. He has slow key recovery, but he does get a guaranteed blue start of the first turn. So that's really insane that he has that. And I think if you want someone that has a guaranteed blue, but it's slower, is on the slower side, then definitely rock Raditz. Any other reds that I like? Ape Vegeta could be useful. You could rock Ape Vegeta. You do have the DBS Frieza. You do have Jason Berter. And then, like I said here, they're pretty much backup characters like Raspberry, Rollberry, Captain Ginyu, Goku Ginyu. In terms of the yellow wise, you do, like I said, you have AGF here. You do have the Zenkai Full Power Frieza. Then you do have LF Full Power Frieza. And then I'd probably say fourth is probably going to be Orlin. After that, you do have blue or purple. Let's go purple. Okay, let's go purple. So purple wise, in terms of the S tier spots, this is backup, so pull. But in terms of a viable, main 6 option, I would say the revival Captain Ginyu Mecha Frieza is second. Then B tier wise, I'll actually put Nappa Vegeta in there. I'll put Nappa Vegeta in there because they're another revival character. You definitely can add them third. And then last, like I said, these are strike-based characters. I'm not going to really add them, but UGF go Frieza 4th and 5th. Green-wise, Green has a lot of good characters options. Like I said, you have the free-to-play Green Frieza. Then you have Naval, of course. Then after that, you do have pretty much all the blast-based, like, Golden Friezas. So, third, I'll probably say the event-exclusive Frieza. Then fourth, I'll probably add in this Frieza. The summonable one, Angel Frieza. Then last, we got blue. Blue, in the sense, I'm going to have Revival Frieza first. Revival Frieza first. Then I'm going to have Jason Berter. After that, here, they're pretty much all strike-based. I'm going to do free-to-play Broly. He's blast-based, so I do like that. And then I think that's pretty much it. You could do like Nappa, but he's strike based. So that's pretty much my top 3 for the Blues. So anyways, let's hop into the next team. Alright, so for the next team we have strike based Vegeta Clan team. Pretty much rock this team if you have Ultra Majin Vegeta. I don't really know how good the team is without him, but if you do have Ultra Majin Vegeta, then you can rock this Vegeta Clan team. Otherwise, just hop into another team. But yeah, pretend this is Ultra Majin Vegeta. I don't have him. I didn't summon for him. And I think his banner just came back out. I'm not going to summon. I literally have no CCs. But yeah, let's talk about the backup characters here. I think Vegeta Clan actually has a really good Z tier option here with the transforming Trunks here. I think he's pretty solid. Great support for, I think, Super Saiyan hybrids. Super Saiyan hybrids in his Vegeta Clan, right? Yeah, Vegeta Clan Super Saiyan are hybrids. So he gives support for his allies. We're on the Vegeta Clan, so that's pretty good. Transforming character. So I think he's going to be pretty solid as a Z tier character. After that, in terms of the S tier, they got some pretty good options in the S tier. I like adding in the Sweater Trunks just because he has double offensive Z ability. If not him, you do have the EX Vegeta here. You do have the Coat Vegeta in terms of HP and support for the team. You do have Grunks. You do have this Super Saiyan movies Vegeta. That's pretty much like my favorite characters here. Then I maybe add in this Trunks, but I don't think this Trunks buffs Vegeta Clan, so I'm not going to add him. But let's talk about the main 6. We do have Bolo Vegeta as our healer, support damage character for the other allies, so we put her in the middle. And then my second one, I usually add in the red Majin Buu Saga Vegeta, because he kind of does the same thing, support damage and healing wise. So we kind of have like our 2 support characters for the team. So now we can kind of just build all damage. So like I said, if you have Majin Vegeta, he's pretty much gonna be the best yellow for the team. And then for the green wise, if you guys do have the Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, rock him for sure. He's the best green Vegeta Clan character for sure. His kit looks pretty good, pretty good. Then after that, in terms of the blue wise, you guys can do the tag Grunks because they have kind of like equal strike and blast stats, and like the fact that they're getting 50% of the gauge each fight. So every other fight they're getting a guaranteed blue card, which is pretty powerful to me. But if you don't have them, then you guys can do Sword Hope Trunks in terms of just someone that's buffing strike attack, Z ability for Vegeta Clan. And in red, I always just add Trunks and Mai just because they give support buffs for the team. Like right here, they give extra little damage, you know, start at the second turn, like to the left and right of them, and they heal themselves by 5%. So I always add them as like my other, you know, just like my last character that I need for red. I just always add him in there, right? And then they're also giving damage to allies at range by 10% as well. So can't go wrong with that. I always rock them. Always rock them at the end. In terms of the best colors though, let's talk about red. So like I said, I always have him for support, so he kind of does a different role. But in terms of like replacing maybe the Zenkai Trunks Mai, you got a few options here. You do have Super Vegeta. You do have Ape Vegeta. And you do have this Vegeta, the red Majin Vegeta. Then I'll probably add in Super Trunks last. Yellow wise, like I said, yellow wise is pretty much Ultra Majin Vegeta. And then it's Fusion Gogeta Blue. And then it's pretty much all blast-based characters like TV and Evo. After that, you do have purple. Purple, you do have, like I said, you do have Trunks and Mai. Not Trunks and Mai, but Bola Vegeta. And then in terms of like an offensive purple, you guys can do the Blue Boys. If not them, you guys can do Grunks. Everybody else is pretty much strike-based or backup characters. So that's pretty much like the three blues that three purples that I'll pick. Green-wise, like I said, if you do have Diamond Vegeta, I think he's number 1. Number 2, I'll put the LF Super Saiyan Team Trunks here. Third, I'll put Tag Force. Fourth, I'll probably do the Super Saiyan LF Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and then all the other characters like Evil Ken, for example, they're like blast based, so they don't really rock well with the team. Blue wise, like I said, you do have Grunks. You do have Tag Grunks here. If not them, you have Soto Trunks. You do have Vegito. It is that Vegito buff Sans. So if you have a lot of Trunk characters, then his Z ability kind of hurts the team. But if you have a lot of his Vegeta characters, then you can definitely still rock them on the team. And then if not them, then you're just going blast based with like the Boo duos, for example. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the team there. Let's hop into the next team. Alright, next team we have blast based Majin Buu Saga. So the backup characters for this season is a little bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, it's one of the few teams that some seasons are a little bit better than others in terms of their backup characters. But yeah, let's talk about the Z tier. Like I said, I've been reading some of you guys' comments about like best backup characters or best like high tier boost characters from Majin Buu Saga. A lot of you guys do recommend. Sometimes you guys rock EX Dabura. Dabura, like I said, he doesn't really have nothing in his kit besides just support abilities. End of turn and on attack, he gives damage inflicted buff to his allies. So I'm taking your guys' word for it. I'm gonna just add him as one of the characters that you guys can use on the Z tier. If not, then you pretty much are gonna go to the S tier spots. And it's really like there's really 3 options that I like here. You have the Videl here. I know she's strike based, but you kind of just have to just take the best available option. So if you do have Videl, definitely rock her. If not, I'll probably say free to play purple Majin Vegeta. And then if not, if you're rocking more of like a Sun Fam Majin Buu Saga hybrids type of team, then I'll say Gotenks is above Majin Vegeta. But it's a really niche team, rocking that transforming Goten. He does get a guaranteed blue card. He does give support and then double offensive Z abilities. But like I said, it's more so for Sun Fam and hybrids. So we rocking more of like a Majin Buu Saga hybrids team, right? Then or like a hybrids, like he could, like for example, this team, like he could possibly be a really good option. Maybe you replace like Majin Buu and add him in there, then his Z ability is good enough to like take care of your main damage dealers. So his value is probably gonna be pretty solid, really, really good, right? So I'll say those are like my top 3 S tier options. And anyways, let's talk about the main 6. So me personally, when it comes to my main 6, I usually just go with Buu Duo, Ultimate Gohan, and then Gotenks, just because in terms of their damage wise, right? But the issue with the team is that both Gotenks and Ultimate Gohan has double defensive Z abilities, so they're kind of lacking in terms of just having a lot of base blast for the team, which is why I rock Majin Buu Good and 18 together. They're both yellows, but both of them give blast base to the team, to Majin Buu Saga. Buu Duo doesn't buff Majin Buu Saga unless it's like that small little Z ability for the strike attack side, but it's pretty much Saiyan, Sun Fam, and Vegeta Clan, right? Double defense and then double defense. So we need some type of double. We need some offensive blast attack Z abilities. So that's why I always add in 18 and Majbu Good. And then I always add in Pui Pui just because of the HP. And he's also giving support. So you have like 2 healers. Majbu Good 18 in terms of support damage and healing. And I think Majbu also gives key recovery, key restore speed, which is really nice to the allies. And then Pui Pui giving support and HP as well. So I always just add him on the team. In terms of replacements, though, you guys can definitely do some replacement wise. When it comes to red, it just depends on how you want to build the team, though. In terms of red, like if you want to have maybe you don't have Go Tanks and you want someone that has a double offensive Z ability, then someone like Buhan is going to be a little bit more valuable because he has a double offensive Z ability for the team and he has a chance of doing double blast on each turn. He has like 25% chance, if I'm not mistaken. After that, other good options that I like is going to be Shin if you want a more support type of role character. Then after that, you pretty much have the Super Saiyan 3 Zenkai Goku, and then you have the free-to-play Vegeta. And then I'll probably say 5th is just 18 here because of more healing wise. When it comes to yellow, like I said, it's pretty much 18 Majbu Good for me. And then, damn, that's pretty much it for real. And then depending on what type of setup you're rocking, if you're rocking like a Majbu regen team, you got like Kid Buu. If you have like a Majbu Saiyans team, you got USV. Hybrids, you can add in like Goten or Sun Fan type of setup. Saiyans, you got like the yellow Vegeta. After that, you got purple here. If it's not Ulton, then it's pretty much going to be the free-to-play Super Saiyan 3 Goku here. And then you do have Super Buu. Yeah. And then after that, we're going to go green. Green wise for, let me take purple wise. Green wise for the blast base team. Like I said, Pui Pui just because HP wise in terms of his HP and support. I always value him pretty high. If not him, like I said, it's Majin Buu. It's Evil Buu. And then if not Evil Buu, you do have like Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He's strike based, but you know, just in terms of like his kit, it's pretty good. It's just he's in the C tier spot. You don't want too many C tier characters. That's pretty much like the main 3. And then blue, in terms of the blast base side, it's pretty much gonna be Buu Duo. You got TN here. You do have Buu Tanks. You do have LF Kid Buu. You do have Zenkai Dabura. And then you know you're gonna dive more into the strike base side like Zenkai, Synchro Gaze, Vegeta. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the team. Let's hop into the next team. Yeah, and the last one is Blue Videl. Strike base, but she's a backup character, so she has a little more value. But let's hop into the next team. All right, next we have is strike base movie sagas. Man, when it comes to movie saga, they just got such a broad team. I feel like there's just so many different niche like movies, Saiyans movies, God Key movies, PO movies, hybrids, right? So it's kind of just whoever you just got the best type of niche of, you just want to build it. Me personally, I think movies, hybrids is pretty much the best team just because the Yellow Beast Gohan, right? Yellow Beast with Pan, and they just rocking. It's pretty much just a hybrids variant. You just have all the Beast Gohans together with Pan, and then you kind of just, alright, for the last 2 characters, you just adding in just a valuable movie saga character. So I'm gonna just talk about like more so like this the best colors for each one because it's just such a hot, it's just a broad team that is going to be pretty difficult for me to say like my team, for example, is the best version of it because there's just so many variants and options to choose from. But let's talk about the backup characters because I feel like I said, movies is a broad team. They have so many good Z's and S every season. So we're going to talk about the backups for this, which like I said, is strike based. So for this one, if you do have the Gohan at like 7+ stars, definitely rock him for sure, right? I got him up to 8 stars, so that's really nice. So Gohan is really good. You got this Broly here. The only thing I hate about this Broly is he gets more damage when allies die, but his base damage is still fine, 40 damage, and then reduction is 30, so that's still good enough. But he could be better, right? If he had the one where he gets 80 damage inflicted and then he loses it when his allies die, that would have been a better. But it is what it is. In terms of the other Z tier characters, I mean, he's blast based, but Bardock is really good. If you rock more of like a hybrid setup type of movies, then this Trunks is really valuable. But those are really like my top 4 that I like from the Z tier options. If you go to the S tier options here, you got multiple strike based options to choose from. For example, you run a rock like LF Cooler on your team, You can have Thouser on your team. You have the EX Final Form Cooler. You have the EX Frieza here. You do have the free-to-play Bojack. You have free-to-play Tapion. You have free-to-play 13. You have Metal Cooler. He's blast-based, but he still works. You have the Super Saiyan Vegeta that I like. And then you have Tapion. Yeah, that's pretty much like my favorite ones. Favorite S tiers, but multiple options to choose from. And I'd probably say Zenkai Metal Cooler. More so blast-based, but if you want to rock them just to rock them, you definitely can. So, yeah, anyways, let's hop into the best colors for each Majin Buu Saga units in terms of color-wise, bro, because like I said, there's such a broad team. It's going to be difficult for me to show you guys different variants, because I don't have every character. I don't have every not Majin Buu Saga, every movie Saga character in my box. I'm missing all, like, you know, the Ultra characters and stuff as well. So let's just talk about red. I'm gonna talk about some good red options. So like I said, if you rocking more of like a hybrid type of movie Saga team than Pan, and you kind of just want to cater around hybrids or Gohan characters. So like I said, you have Pan, you have Red Beast, you have Nerdhan, and then you have LF Cooler. In terms of strike base wise, those are like my favorite strike base red movie Saga characters. Other good options, you got like Tapion because of his Zenkai ability, and then you have characters like Gray Salmon for their Zenkai ability as well. After that, when you go to yellow, like I said, number one is Ultra Yellow Beast Gohan. He's just by far the best character. After that, bro, you have like Fat Gotenks in terms of his debuffs and support for the debuffs for the enemies, support for his allies. Then you have like Zenkai Gogeta Blue. You have Fusion Gogeta Blue. And then you have like Hero Tapion. Those are like my favorite yellow movie Saga strike based characters. After that, we're gonna go purple. Purple, to me, I think one of my favorite ones is Garlic Jr. Just because of the nullifications to debuffs for his allies. Like, I think for the 4 spots, kind of like a cross. He transforms, he heals himself, he gets strike damage to himself. So I think all around he's a good character. If not him though, you do have other strike based characters. For example, you do have the Blue Boys. You do have Ultra Gogeta Blue. You do have UGF. Hero Tapion is okay. I like him more as a backup character than a main 6. So in terms of main 6, Blue Boys, Garlic Jr., UGB, UGF. Anybody else that sticks out? Not really. I'll say 4th and 5th is probably Light Skin Piccolo, Red Ribbon Army Piccolo. In terms of support wise for the team, they're other good. Those are probably the other best options. After that, we'll go green. I don't think I'm missing any movie Saga characters. Probably like Days, but I think he's strike based. I am missing Days. I think Days is actually a strike based character from the Crusher Corps. Green wise, you do have God Goku. He's a character that does get a guaranteed blue card every fight, so that's really powerful. I finally pulled him. After that, you do have Magenta. Magenta has great debuffs beginning of the turn, and then he gets a guaranteed blue once there is 3 enemies or less remaining on the field, depending on the turn, whenever they have that criteria met. After that, I think like green is one of the worst colors. I ain't gonna lie to you. Magenta, God Goku. Man, it gets bad. Then it's like Dragon Fist Goku. Then it's like Drip Trunks. If he's in like an A tier spot, he's pretty solid. And then I'll probably say like the green Broly here, and then like orange Piccolo last. But I'm kind of just reaching with those last 2. So God Goku, I do like Magenta, Drip Trunks, Super Saiyan 3, and then Broly and like orange Piccolo. She might have a little bit more value. I actually might add her. So let me actually change this up. Let's do God Goku, Drip Trunks. No, God Goku, Magenta, Drip Trunks, Videl, Dragon Fist, Broly, orange Piccolo, strike base greens. And then blue wise, if you guys do have Ultra Turles, I think he's pretty solid. I think he's more so blast based, but I think he actually has the equal stats, if I'm not mistaken. But Ultra Turles is a good option. You do have Ultra Super Gogeta. You do have Blue Beast. After that, you do have Super 13. Android 8 is pretty solid. These are blast-based characters. I think he is a defensive character. And then Ultra Janemba. Yeah, that'll probably be my favorite characters. And I'll probably do like LF Broly towards the bottom. LF DBS Full Power Broly. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the movie Strike Base team. Hella broad. Let's hop into the next team. Alright, next we got Strike Base GT. Let's talk about the backup characters. So I finally actually pulled that new EX Trunks here. Not this one here, but the newer one. So I finally actually pulled him when I was summoning. Yeah, he's by far just the best Z tier character. Everybody else here just sucks. If you want to add in maybe like Super Baby 2, for example, this red one, or like Shin, you guys definitely can, but I just think he's just outright the best one. Even though he's more blast based, he's just the best Z tier option. S tier wise, I'm gonna do EX Oob. If not Oob, you got EX Omega. If not EX Omega, you got Super 17. And then I'll probably say the Zenkai Super Saiyan Vegeta. And then when it comes to the main 6 here, we do have Bull Vegeta and Super Baby 2 being our main healers. And then in terms of like the other 4 characters, like the best green strike based character is Tag Force. And then after them is Gogeta, it's LF Gogeta 4. That's pretty much it. So you want to just take Tag Force as your best, strike base. Blue wise, I decided to go with the Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku just because he's Zenkai buffs Super Baby 2, so they both will get double Zenkai buff. That's just great synergy there, so I decided to add them. And then for the red and yellow, I did Shin and the Kid Goku because they're both an A tier boost. Both help with strike attack. I think Shin does double offensive Z abilities, so that's really nice. And then the Kid Goku, I mean, he does strike attack and defense for GT, if I'm not mistaken, in Sunfam. Yep, only 25%. So there's different options you guys can go with. If you guys want to go with another purple, you guys can definitely replace one of these characters besides Tag Force. Maybe like GT Goku, and then add in UGF. If you want to add in like an offensive purple for the team, you guys can definitely do that. And yeah, let's talk about like just the replacements for each color. Like I said, for GT, when it comes to the green wise, bro, it's either Tag Force or LF Gogeta 4 for the strike base side. After that, next we have blue. Super Baby 2 is the healer, so strike base options is pretty much going to be, to me, Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku. I don't really like Celza like that because, oh yeah, it's in the B tier. Okay. All right, after that, then it's going to be, if it's Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku, then I'll probably say Celza. And then you have Omega Shenron, but he's more blast based, but you can still rock him. And then after that, in terms of blue, we have purple. Purple, like I said, is pretty much Bull Vegeta, UG4, Celza, and then Zenkai Super Saiyan 4 Goku. After that, yellow wise, me personally, if you guys want to go with a C tier option, you guys can go Super Baby Trunks or Goku 4. And then I'll probably say third to me is going to be Shin, just because of the double offensive Z abilities. He's not in the C tier spot, so he has a little bit way more value than that. But you guys can do a double Zenkai buff or a Zenkai buff for like, you have Shin, and then instead of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you can add in like Super Baby 2 or 4Ku. Get like a double Zenkai buff to 4Ku, or just a Zenkai buff to Super Baby 2, the LF one. And then I'll probably say like fourth and fifth is like Pan Trunks Giru and it's Super 13. Red wise is pretty much going to be Zenkai Omega and the GT Kid Goku in terms of the strike base side. So yeah, that's pretty much it with strike base GT. Let's hop into the blast version. Alright, next we got strike base GT. Let's talk about the backup characters. So I finally actually pulled that new EX Trunks here, not this one here, but the newer one. So I finally actually pulled him when I was summoning. Yeah, he's by far just the best Z tier character. Everybody else here just sucks. If you want to add in maybe like Super Baby 2, for example, this red one, or like Shin, you guys definitely can, but I just think he's just outright the best one. Even though he's more blast based, he's just the best Z tier option. S tier wise, I'm gonna do EX Oob. If not Oob, you got EX Omega. If not EX Omega, you got Super 17. And then I'll probably say the Zenkai Super Saiyan Vegeta. And then when it comes to the main 6 here, we do have Bull Vegeta and Super Baby 2 being our main healers. And then in terms of like the other 4 characters, like the best green strike based character is Tag Force. And then after them is Gogeta, it's LF Gogeta 4. That's pretty much it. So you want to just take Tag 4s as your best, strike base. Blue wise, I decided to go with the Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku just because he's Zenkai buffs Super Baby 2, so they both will get double Zenkai buff. That's just great synergy there, so I decided to add them. And then for the red and yellow, I did Shin and the Kid Goku because they're both an A tier boost. Both help with strike attack. I think Shin does double offensive Z abilities, so that's really nice. And then the Kid Goku, I mean, he does strike attack and defense for GT, if I'm not mistaken, in Sunfam. Yep, only 25%. So there's different options you guys can go with. If you guys want to go with another purple, you guys can definitely replace one of these characters besides tag 4s. Maybe like GT Goku and then add in UGF. If you want to add in like an offensive purple for the team, you guys can definitely do that. And yeah, let's talk about like just the replacements for each color. Like I said, for GT, when it comes to the green wise, bro, it's either tag 4s or LF Gogeta 4 for the strike base side. After that, next we have blue. Super Baby 2 is the healer, so strike base options is pretty much going to be, to me, Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku. I don't really like Frieza like that because, oh yeah, it's in the B tier. Okay. All right, after that, then it's going to be, if it's Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku, then I'll probably say Frieza. And then you have Omega Shenron, but he's more blast based, but you can still rock him. And then after that, in terms of blue, we have purple. Purple, like I said, is pretty much Bulla Vegeta, UG4, Frieza, and then Zenkai Super Saiyan 4 Goku. After that, yellow wise, me personally, if you guys want to go with a C tier option, you guys can go Super Baby Trunks or Goku 4. And then I'll probably say third to me is going to be Shin, just because of the double offensive Z abilities. He's not in the C tier spot, so he has a little bit way more value than that. But you guys could do a double Zenkai buff or a Zenkai buff for like, you have Shin, and then instead of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you can add in like Super Baby 2 or 4Ku. Get like a double Zenkai buff to 4Ku or just a Zenkai buff to Super Baby 2, the LF one. And then I'll probably say like fourth and fifth is like Pan Trunks Giru and Super 13. Red wise is pretty much going to be Zenkai Omega and the GT Kid Goku in terms of the strike base side. So yeah, that's pretty much it with strike base GT. Let's hop into the blast version. Alright, next you got blast base GT. Backup character is going to be the same for both the strike and blast. You got the EX Trunks here. You got that new one. He's just the best Z tier option for sure. Other good options or other options that you want to take a risk if you're willing to take the risk for, go ahead. EX Shin or like this Super Baby 2, but I'd rather just go S tier and play it safe, right? You can definitely do EX Omega because he's more suited for the blast base side and the strike base side. And then you have EX Oob, and then you have Super 13, and then the yellow Super Saiyan Vegeta if you want to rock him for sure. Right, he can get double Zenkai buff if you have him and the Shin together. The Zenkai Shin, double Zenkai buff himself. Anyway, let's hop into the main six. So in terms of like just our main healers and support, we have Bulla Vegeta, Super Baby 2. I just like the double healing and support that they give for the team, so I'm always going to rock them together. In terms of the other characters though, blast based GT doesn't really have that many options for real. So to me, my C tiers, I always have Super 17 and Omega Shenron. Just the debuffs that they give to the enemies on each turn or when 17 runs uses a blast card is insane. So I really do like them together, and they're pretty much the best options for both red and green blast base for GT. They're the best options, best number one options. Yellow wise, I went with Shin just because Shin is in the A tier spot and he has double offensive Z abilities compared to like someone like Rage. Rage give great support, but he does do double defense. So in terms of offense, I just went with Shin. Zenkai character, high stats, and then he's double offensive Z abilities for his team. And then purple 17, I mean, like in terms of blast based purple, he's the only blast based purple unit on GT. So like he's like really the only option to use for purple, unless you want to rock UG4 or strike based purple. But anyways, let's talk about the best colors for each team. It's not gonna really be that much to talk about. But red wise, it's going to be Super 17. It's going to be the free-to-play Shin. And then it's going to be that Zenkai Vegeta. And no. Super 17, free-to-play Shin, free-to-play Super Saiyan Goku, and then Zenkai Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Yellow wise, like I said, it's pretty much going to be Shin, in terms of the main six, you got Shin, and then you got Rage. Everybody else is pretty much strike base. For yellow, purple wise is pretty much just GT17. Blast base wise, green wise you have Omega Shenron, and then you have Baby Trunks, and then you have the Super Saiyan 4 full power Goku. That's pretty much the best blast base greens. And then blue wise you have, like I said, of course Super Baby 2 is gonna be your main core character. If not him though, for blast base it's pretty much EX Omega and then USB Goku, but I just don't see the value in him as a C tier character. I just don't see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. Let's hop into the next team. Alright, next we have his blast base Unireps. So Unireps as a whole has been getting a lot of love. They got a lot of new characters. I believe they got what, 6, 7 new, actually 8 new characters. They got a Zenkai for 2 of their characters. They got 2 free-to-play characters, and then they got the summonable LF MUI, and then Kaba, and then you have the Kale Caulifla, and then LF Evo Vegeta. So you got like pretty much 8 new buffs in a sense. So that's pretty interesting. So TOP wise, they gotten better as well. So let's talk about it. So in terms of the backup characters for the Z tier options, the green Kaba is in Z tier, and then EX Kale is. So in terms of the blast base side, they're like the best 2 options to choose from. If you don't have them, I'll say the third option is probably gonna be Vados for the Z tier options. And in terms of the S tier, you got some great options as well. Looking at it for the blast base side, you have EX Dispo, the green one, and then you have yellow Topo, and then you have the free-to-play Sparking Kefla. There's still some other options for the strike base side, like you have the EX Wagamo, you have the EX Shampoo, you have the EX Jiren, then you have the Zenkai Caulifla, and then you have the Zenkai Kale. So in terms of the Z's and S, they have great options to choose from. Now in terms of the main 6 here, I don't have all the Unireps characters, so I'm gonna just talk about the characters I have, but if you do have them, I'm going to reference them as well. So let's talk about the main 6. So for me, I'm always gonna have EX Kale just because of her support. EX Kale just because of the support damage she gives, healing and damage for their allies, for Unireps and stuff. You want the extra healing there, so I really do value that. And me personally, I'll say second would be the event exclusive Golden Frieza, just because at the 3rd turn he heals all his allies by 2%, and then he's also given great debuffs for health restoration, key recovery, damage inflicted, and then damage received for the allies. I mean his enemies, tons of debuffs, which is nuts. So I do like them too in terms of healing for the team. Now when it comes to the other characters here, yellow wise, for blast base, I think AGF is still the best yellow, just because he gets the guaranteed blue. If he's on the yellow layout bonus, he gets a guaranteed ultimate card, and then he can get a guaranteed blue card depending on how many enemies are left in the 4th turn. After that, you do have MVP 17. I just like him just because of his Z ability for blast based Unireps. I do value that way more, but there's definitely other blue options to choose from now since we have newer characters, newer colors. Purple wise, I still have Jiren, just because I don't have the LF Evo Vegeta. If you do have him, you can definitely replace Evo with Jiren, because Evo right now, I think he's in the A tier spot until he gets dropped to the C tier. And then red wise, I have Bergamo for HP. And if you don't have Bergamo, if you do have Kaba, Kaba's a really great option. I think he gives great support. I don't remember his full TOP kit, but in terms of support wise and stuff, he's really good for the Unireps blast based team. So anyway, let's talk about the best colors for the best colors, or the best units for each colors. Let's talk about red. When it comes to red, like I said, you have Kaba. In terms of the blast base Unireps, you have Kaba. Bergamo, because like I said, HP, he has the nullification of damage for his first attack getting hit at him. He ramps up over time, can't go wrong with that. Then after that, you do have MUI Goku, because he has double, his stats for strike and blast is equal in a sense, and then he has double offensive Z ability, so that's really powerful. So in terms of the blast base size, that's pretty much for the red. Yellow wise, like I said, I have AGF, then I'll have Ultra UI Goku. Then after that, I'll probably have, who would I put next? Let's see. You could do Evo Vegeta, you could do Roshi, and then Ultra Kaioken Goku for the blast base side. as a main 6 character. Purple, I would say is going to be LF Evo Vegeta. Then after that, I would say LF Jiren, then LF UI Goku. I know we got this event exclusive Jiren, but he's more strike based, so I'm not going to talk about him on the blast based side. After that, we do have green. In my opinion, green, you do have the event exclusive Frieza. You do also have the Zenkai of the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Let me actually just check his kit here. I don't know what else, what he gets here. Okay, charge rate. Okay, cool. First turn, 30 damage. Then he has hella charge rate every time he lands a blast. Okay. So yeah, I'll probably say, yeah, the event exclusive Frieza here, just because, you know, in terms of the healing, that's really valuable to me. After that, you do have the Zenkai Rev UI. Then you pretty much are just looking at like Evoken, God Topo, and then the Sonable Golden Frieza here. And then after that, you got blue. To me, like I said, it's MVP 17. You're going to have Kale for the healing. And if not them, then you definitely have the TOP Android 18. So you can pretty much get a guaranteed blue every other fight. And then every time she kills an enemy, she gives support for her allies. And then every time she lands a card, she ramps up blue card and damage inflicted buffs and stuff like that as well. So that's pretty much it with the colors for the Unireps. Best units for each colors for the Unireps blast based team. Now we have the strike based team, and let's get straight into it. Alright, next you do have strike based Unireps. So like I said, for blast based Unireps, you got a lot of love. Same will be said for the strike based Unireps team. Now, when it comes to the Z tier option, like I said, Cabba's just the best version, best option to choose from, because he is an HP buffer. And if you do have Kale Khalifa on the team as well, since he is buffing, I think the Zenkai Rival Universe, yep, he will be Zenkai buffing Kale Khalifa because they're part yellow and part green, so that'll be nice synergy there. The other good options for the Z tier are blast based if you just want to use them though. Still, you do have blue Berserker Kale, and then you do have purple Vitals here. But in terms of the S tier options, you have still some great options to choose from. Strike based side though, you got like EX Bergamo, you have EX Jiren, the blue EX Jiren, you have EX Blue Champa, and then after that I'll probably say you have like Topo, then you have like purple Zenkai Qualifla, then Zenkai Kale, and then more the blast version side you have the EX Green Dispo, and then the free to play purple Kefla. Excuse me. And all right, let's hop into the main 6 here. So we got a different iteration of the team here. So I feel like the strike based teams have gotten a lot better. I don't have LF MUI Goku, but if you do have him, definitely please rock him, bro. He's busted, bro. If you have LF MUI Goku right now, he's in the A tier spot. Definitely rock him for sure. But I don't have him. I didn't pull him. Got shafted by 25k. So yeah, that's tough. But anyways, let's talk about the main 6. In terms of healing, we have Kale. Like I said, Kale is a great healer for the team. And then you also going to have the new free-to-play Jiren. Jiren is also giving support and healing for his allies. Only for 2 turns in terms of the healing and damage. But you have 2 healers, him and Kale together. And then also he has some great abilities in this kit. Like, you know, every time he lands a strike card, he's slowly building up his gauge. If you land a blast card, he gets extra debuffs. With me personally, doesn't really make sense because he's a better strike based character than a blast based. So I don't know why they want you to do blast damage. Doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, then you also have extra like key recovery buffs and debuffs that he's giving downgrades, notifications for his allies. So he has great support abilities. So him and Kale is really nice together. I do like them a ton. Now, when it comes to the yellow, I still want you guys to rock the Kaioken Goku, the Zenkai Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue Goku, because he gets the guaranteed blue card. I still think that's still valuable in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the blue wise, I do have blue TOP 18. I mean, she ramps up her blue card. Every other fight, she's going to get a guaranteed blue. If she kills an enemy, she gives extra support buffs to her allies. And then every time she lands a strike or blast card, she ramps up, which is really powerful to me. But if you guys do have the new LF MUI Goku, definitely replace her with LF MUI Goku. Or you can rock them together, where you can take out Kale Khalifa and put LF MUI Goku together. So LF MUI can get the Zenkai buff from the TOP 18. You guys could definitely do that type of setup for sure. Now, you know, you can't go wrong with that. But In terms of yellow green, I decided to add Kale Khalifa just because they're in the A tier spot right now, and I think they're pretty solid. They'll get Zenkai buff by Kaba once he's part of the main 6 because he's Zenkai's green rival universe, and they'll also get the HP buff from him as well, double HP from, you know, Kaba and for Bergamo. And then for my red, I just added in Bergamo just because, you know, just all around, you know, HP for the team. Red, he nullifies damage for the first time he gets hit, and then he ramps up over time and he heals himself. So pretty valuable character to me, but you guys definitely have other options to choose from, which I'm going to break that down right now. Let's get straight into it. So first we have red. All right, so red, like I said, you have Bergamo, you have LFMUI Goku, and then you have red Casserole, and then you also have Ultra Hit in terms of just red wise for the strike base side of uni reps. Yellow, like I said, you have the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Then you have Kale Khalifa, and then pretty much everybody else is just blast based, like Ultra UI Goku and AGF and Evo and all that good stuff. They're all blast based. Purple wise, to me, I think is going to be the free to play Jiren just because of his support that he gives for the team. Goku Frieza is probably second, and then yeah, that's pretty much just them two. And pretty much all the other ones are blast based, like Evo, UI, and LF Jiren. They're all blast based. After that, green you have Kale Khalifa. And then after that, you do still have characters like Kiawe. And you guys can still use this Frieza if you guys want to have 3 characters that's giving support in terms of healing, because he heals his allies in the start of turn 3. So if you want to have Kale, free to play Jiren, and go to Frieza, you guys can definitely do that lineup. Just have more healing. You guys can switch them out and add them for sure. After that, in terms of the green wise, like I said, Kale Khalifa, Kiawe, then this Frieza here. We're gonna go into blue. Blue is gonna be LFMUI Goku. It's gonna be Zenkai, TOP18, and then go Frieza. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. Right, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's hop into the last tag, which is hybrids. Alright, so for the last tag here, we have strike base hybrids, and then after that is going to be blast base hybrids. But let's talk about strike base. So let's talk about the backup characters here. I think they have 2 great Z tier characters for this season. You have the transforming Purple Trunks. I think pretty good stats in terms of him being like a post first anniversary character. I mean, he gives support for hybrids, so I still think he's, you know, pretty solid. I think, and then the stats wise kind of is enough to carry him in a sense, so he's pretty good. Then after that, if you have a high star, like a 7-star plus Super Saiyan Gohan Teen, he's another great option to choose from for sure for the strike base hybrids. But if you don't have them at, you know, high stars or whatever, you got some pretty solid options on the S tier side. You do have yellow transforming Goten, and then you do have purple green sweater Trunks, and then I'd probably say EX Grunks is probably 3rd. Then 4th and 5th, ooh, that's tough. I'll probably do just like the Super Saiyan Trunks and the adult Trunks here. But you know, the issue is that I don't think they buff hybrids. They buff like Future and like Vegeta Clan or whatever. So you know, that's why I put them 4th and 5th. But we're talking about the main 6 here. It's pretty much going to be all about Beast Gohan. Yellow Future Gohan is supposed to be Ultra Beast Gohan. I did not summon for Ultra Beast Gohan, so I do not have him. But if you guys have Ultra Beast Gohan, yeah, you please like just rock him. He's utterly ridiculous. So with Pan on the side, Pan is giving a hella support already for her allies, and if she's getting more support for Piccolos and Gohan characters, since it's hybrids, it's going to be focused on Gohans, and Gohan has pretty much the best characters for hybrids right now. So yeah, you know, that it is what it is. He gives HP for the team and also debuffs the enemies. Then after that, bro, like I said, you have yellow Beast Gohan, then you have blue Beast Gohan, then you have red Beast Gohan. So just all the Gohans around. And then I have Bulla Vegeta, just more support and healing. And then for my green character, I decided to do Drip Trunks just because I didn't want to add in another C tier character and have 5 C tier characters on my main 6. decided just to go with 4. So yeah, let's talk about the best options for each colors for the main 6. Red wise, like I said, it's going to just be Pan. If it's not Pan, then it's going to be Nerdhan. Not Nerdhan. Red Transforming Beast, then it's Nerdhan. For strike based wise, it's pretty much the best options in my opinion. After that, then we have yellow. Like I said, it's going to be pretty much going to be yellow Beast Gohan. It's going to be yellow Gotenks. And then it's probably going to be this transforming Goten here in terms of the strike base side of hybrids. Right. Yep. Then after that, it's gonna be purple. Purple is gonna be a pretty tough color, but like I said, it's gonna be Bola Vegeta. Then after that, I mean, it's pretty much gonna be, you could do Grunks because Grunk has equal strike and blast stats. And then it's gonna be like green sweater Trunks and like Revival Gohan, for example, for strike base side. Green is gonna be I mean, I think Teen Trunks is the best green, but you just don't want to add too much C tier characters. So then I'll say Drip Trunks is probably second. And then third, I'll probably do the EX Grunks for strike base side. And then probably do Transforming Kid Trunks probably fourth. After that, we got blue. Blue is going to be Blue Beast. It's going to be Grunks. And then it's going to be Sword of Hope Trunks. So, yeah, that's pretty much it with the strike base hybrids. Let's hop into the blast base side. I'm going to catch you guys there. Alright, for the last thing, we have blast base hybrids. Let's pretty much wrap this up here. Now, when it comes to the Z tier, they don't really have the best Z tier blast base characters. Like I said, they have like the Trunks. If you just want to take the best available, Transforming Trunks, and then the EX Super Saiyan Teen Gohan. But if not, if you just want to go more blast, and then the S tier side, you do have like Goten here. I think he's a little bit better on the strike base side, or I think he has equal stats. Yeah, he's more strike based, but just the double offensive Z ability helps the team, and he gets a guaranteed blue, and he supports his allies. Then you have the EX Kid Gohan, and then I'll probably say green sweater Trunks. I know he's more strike based, but he has a double offensive Z ability, so that's really nice. And then after that, I'll probably do EX Grunks fourth. Now when it comes to the main 6 here, I decided to still have Pan on the team just because she just glazed Gohan a lot and debuffs HP for the team, support for her allies, and then extra for Gohan. If you guys do have Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, definitely replace him. Definitely use him. I don't have him, but if you guys do have him, he's definitely the main green for this team. Blue, purple wise, I decided to go with Grunks because they're blast based, and they can ramp up their blue card every other fight to get a guaranteed blue. And then I decided to add an Ultimate Gohan as my main purple damage dealer. After that, you do have the Goten here. Goten gives extra support damage and support for Gohan characters, so similar role to like Bola Vegeta, giving extra healing and damage inflicted buffs, along with Pan, just to have all the Gohan characters do a ton of damage. And then after that, I decided to go with another just blue character with the Super Saiyan Teen Gohan here, or Youth Gohan, just because he's Gohan. He's not a C tier character, so I didn't want to add too many C tier characters on the team, and I decided to rock with this team here. But if you want to talk about the best characters for each color for this Hybrids Blast, we can start off with red. Red, you have Pan because of HP. Second, you can do Nerdhan. I think Nerdhan is equal in stats, right? Double offensive Z ability, support. He ramps up over time. He heals himself. Third, I would say Gotenks, just because Gotenks has a double defensive Z ability, so that kind of hurts the team in a sense, but he's still a valuable blast-based character. So I'll say those are the top 3. In terms of yellow-wise, for blast base, I still would just add in Beast Gohan if you have him, as just the best all-around yellow. I know he's strike based, but just what he does with in terms of charging up his blue card is ridiculous, and you can still rock him on this team and still be fun. After that, I'll probably say Gotenks, then I'll say TV, and then I'll say Transforming Goten. Purple wise, you have Ultimate Gohan, you have Grunks, and then you have the Super Saiyan Goten there in terms of support and damage. I mean support, healing damage wise for his allies. Then after that, you have green. Green, like I said, you have Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Then after that, it's pretty much going to be Kryhan. Yeah. And then probably tag EX Grunks. Then blue wise is going to be Grunks. It's going to be that Super Saiyan Youth Gohan. And then you're pretty much looking at a strike base side with like Blue Beast or Soda Hub Trunks. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the team. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and rough. And I'm out. Peace.